Hey, Dr. Karen here, and welcome to another edition of Spiritual Medicine Digest. So I want to talk about this week this idea of upgrades. I know that some of the analogies that I've been talking about in other Spiritual Medicine Digests have to do with like upgrading ourselves through the ascension process. Like this is a natural process, which it is. And I was just watching Greg Braden's Missing Links on Gaia, and it is amazing. So if you don't have a Gaia subscription, get one, because I have very little time, but between his Missing Links and Teresa Bullard's Mystery School teachings, I'm just having a blast. And what's really great is about the science, the science behind what we thought we knew and what's really true, like what the science really shows about our reality, our origins, and it's completely different from what we learned in school and what they're still teaching in high school and college and all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, as far as this ascension process, some people don't like the word ascension because they think it's Christian, and it's not necessarily Christian. It's like an idea of, the expanding universe. And so in this process of expansion, now we have many, many different parts of us, right? We have the physical parts and all of its components, like emotional body and all of its components, and, energetic body and all of its components. So what I've observed over the years, working with, my, thousands of people, my own stuff, things like that, is that in this expansion process, that sometimes we can make a quantum leap in our evolution, and I call it like an upgrade. And when that happens, sometimes the other systems and associated relationships have to make an adjustment. And I love sometimes how the universe gives us symbolic representations of this, just so I can get a handle of how to communicate this to you. So last week, if you've been following me on Facebook and on the email list, you noticed that I was talking about my website being down for 4 days, which is a really long time for a business person to have their website down, especially when you have material there that people want to digest and understand and learn from. And normally these things get fixed really super quickly. And I thought, what's going on? This is taking a while. This is not so easy like last time. And I was deferring, some of the stuff to other people to do. And I thought, no, I'm the business owner. I think I have to take the reins here. And I'm going to give you a little tip. When you are frustrated with something or someone that is not doing what you think they should be doing, and so on and so forth, catch yourself in that frustration and realize that the other party isn't going to do anything any faster or better if you have any sort of negative energy or frustration or judgment about them. So understandably, I'm human, so I was like, what's taking so long, right? But I caught it pretty quickly, and I thought, okay, this is not helping Karen. Use your own advice and your own coaching. So I coached myself and thought, I'm just gonna, do some telepathy, and I called the company back that hosts my website and got a really cool rep. She was, beautiful and bubbly to talk to, and I'm talking to her like I would talk to any of my light warrior sensitive souls, just with love and enjoyment. And she has this bubbly energy, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. You were like a breath of fresh air. This is wonderful. And we start off the conversation that way, and it's great. And she's looking into the website, and she's like, well, the person that worked on it last night didn't make any notes, and so no one's been working on it all day. I'm so sorry. Let me get right on this. And she was so awesome, and she got another administrator on it right away, and they said, well, we think we know what's the issue. And they got back to me pretty quickly after 2 days of not hearing from them. And they figured out the problem, and I called the other people that I had to call to do something with the website. And of course, again, really making an effort to enjoy the relationship with the other person, even though I don't know them necessarily, but just appreciating who they are. And that's a way of doing telepathy. And we discussed more of the details and all that kind of stuff in my Light Warrior training camp in September. Anyway, so this happens, and lo and behold, the website pops up. Now there's another issue with the other website, and he says, well, if you want, I can try to take a stab at it to see if we can get that running. I had literally 4 minutes before my next appointment, and I said, okay, if you think you can do it in 4 minutes, and sure enough, 3 minutes and 20 seconds, he had it done. I was on time for my next appointment. It was amazing. And what I realized through this experience was that, sometimes things don't happen, the way we want. But the symbolism is that the website programming, whatever you want to call it, needed an upgrade. It's called a PHP. So the WordPress or whatever needed a PHP upgrade, and after the upgrade, the other systems have to learn how to talk to the upgrade, and the other company had to clear out its cache or whatever. Like, some of you computer people know exactly what I'm talking about. Other people are like, huh? But it's sort of like when you're doing a healing, you get a new operating system or new program, new blueprint. Then you have to kind of teach the other parts of you to communicate with that blueprint and understand it. And then we need to reboot the system. We have to clear out the old memory, the old stuff, that the body or other parts of you have memorized, and then install that new system or get used to using that new system. And that's this whole website going down thing is very symbolic of what we're going through as part of the ascension process. So aside from learning all that about, upgrades and having to clear out old memories and, having new blueprints, meaning new operating systems, and systems having to work with each other in relationship to get used to how everything works, the other thing that was really cool was just witnessing the benefits of these quote-unquote problems happening. So when problems happen in your life, we have two choices. We can either kind of judge them and think, oh, they're bad, it's not good, it shouldn't happen, and then we're in resistance, right? And that makes everything you want come much, much slower. Yeah, slower. Like snail's pace. So, and I know that. So, I thought to myself, okay, so what is the benefit of this going down? I know I'm going to learn something, right? And, when my website wasn't working, I thought, ooh, I get an excuse to play. Okay, universe. So I thought, instead of a problem, I'm seeing this as a puzzle. It's a puzzle. So if you can see your problems as a puzzle, it makes the energy completely differently. It becomes almost fun, right? A puzzle. Not that I'm big on jigsaw puzzles, but other kind of puzzles. So I say to myself and the universe, I said, well, my website's down. People can't access things. They can't find things. And I know I'm going to get a brand new branded website in the near future from Wellness Leadership Academy. I'm so excited about that. Can't wait to tell you about that. But in the meantime, that gave me an excuse to go into my magic, which is creator mode. I love to create. So I thought to myself, how fast can I put up a backup website? Now, I'm not a web person, right? But I was like, how fast can I do it on my own? So it's like a puzzle. It was like a challenge, So I try it, in the website building program that I have, and it's a little bit too hard for me, and things were a little glitchy that day, and I thought, nope, not fast enough. So I went to GoDaddy, where I buy my domain names, and they have a website builder, and you pay whatever it is, $10 a month, for that kind of thing. And I thought, I'm going to try theirs. It's like 30 days free or something, right? So I get into theirs, and oh my gosh, it's so easy. Now, the downside, of course, you can't really customize a lot of things. Like, you can't make the button bigger, you can't do multiple fonts, that kind of thing. But it was pretty darn fast. And I sort of did something the long way because I didn't realize that you couldn't change the name of the first, tabs they had. Like it says contact us, our services, right? And I was just, it's not really our services. So I had to like duplicate the page I already made by making a new page and then deleting. Instead of our services, it's like just services. Instead of contact us, it's just contact, right? Or about us, it's just about, right? So I had to duplicate it. But if I didn't have to duplicate it, it would have been even faster. So I pretty much started late afternoon and finished at like 10:30 or 11 or something like that. I had to put finishing touches. But I got to tell you, I had so much fun. I had so much fun doing it. And thanks to what I learned from Wellness Leadership Academy, I had the main components that were necessary for a good website. And I posted it up, telling my students about it. Like my students in like Warrior Network and on Facebook, I mean, they know whatever's going on with me, and I'm just being real. And so I said, hey guys, look what I put up. And the funny thing is that people were like, hey, I feel a lot of good energy on this website, and it feels loving, and it's much more clear, definitely more clear than the one I currently have. And I really liked it. In fact, I kept looking at it, sort of like after you make a piece of artwork and you just keep looking at it because you're admiring your own work. Anyway, so I had a blast. And so I just realized this was an opportunity for me to play. I had an excuse to play. Yes, did I have actual time to do that? And should I have been, quote unquote, doing something else more productive? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I got a list the size of my, the length of my arm, things I'm supposed to be doing. But it gave me an excuse to play, and I got to admire my creation, and I got to appreciate myself. And this is what sometimes you want to do, is to appreciate yourself for those times and those places where you feel like you've overcome an obstacle and you did it better this time than last time. So I thought, well, what is this showing me? Well, these are core values. These are core light warrior values. Okay, so if you're a sensitive soul, you are what I call a light warrior sensitive soul. And some of the core values that I have that are shared among us are tenacity, authenticity, and in this case, creativity. But in this case, resourcefulness. So when you come up against a block or an obstacle, you can resist it, okay, which is not the quickest, fastest way to get your way. You can resist what is, which is not what I recommend. And by the way, we can do, you can actually test that. You can test how bad is my resistance score to yada yada out of 10. 10 meaning awful, 0 meaning none, and you want 0. So you can either resist, or you can dip into those core values and go, if this isn't a problem and I choose to see it as a puzzle, what good can come out of this? And how can I enjoy this process? And for me, it was like, having the website down for 4 days is very inconvenient. Absolutely. People are, emailing and Facebook messaging, hey, it's down, I don't know how to get into my student portal, all that kind of stuff, right? I get it. But at the same time, I turned it around into a puzzle and into something I could create and enjoy and appreciate myself for my resourcefulness and creativity and all that kind of stuff. So you have amazing gifts, and look at your core values. So anytime anything so-called bad happens that you don't want, dip into that resourcefulness, dip into that, that creativity, dip into the parts of you that's going to choose not to resist, but instead this is what they call go with the flow. That's what I consider go with the flow. So going with the flow of life, and it's like the flow of the river, right? So if you're flowing the river and you are in a, say, kayak or canoe, and you are in a pretty fast moving river, and there's some rocks coming up and some rapids, right? So you can either get stuck on a rock or just put your boat to shore because you're like, I can't do this, right? That's one choice. Or you can just, if you're in resistance, basically what you're saying is, heck, this rock shouldn't be here. This shouldn't be here in this river. How dare it be here? And that's resistance, okay? Completely doesn't make sense, right? So instead, you can learn to be expert at maneuvering what? Around those rocks, right? Now, obviously, the universe is going to give you the speed of the river and the size of the rocks appropriate to your experience and where you are in your personal and spiritual evolution. So they're not going to give you a super rapid river that you cannot manage. But they are going to give you one where, yeah, maybe it's a little rock and maybe you've resisted in the past, but this time you go around the rock, right? And then next time maybe it's slightly bigger rock, but you've gotten some practice. Is that a word? Gotten? Anyway, you got some practice. So now you go around this bigger rock and then you feel kind of good about yourself. So you're evolving, you're appreciating yourself. So that's my advice for you. That's your Spiritual Medicine Digest, in a nutshell this week, is about this whole process of evolution and upgrading and, being able to look back at yourself and appreciating yourself, seeing problems as puzzles. Cool. And a couple announcements. If you missed the masterclass with Isa Herrera, a pelvic pain masterclass, it was amazing. So if you have anything related to sex, pelvic pain, constipation, anything in your first chakra, definitely watch that replay. And consider being in her program, because I was in her program and loved it. It was amazing. Get so much mileage out of it. It's well worth, whatever she's charging and more. The second thing I want to announce is that after some deliberation, I was like, how can I entice you, Light Warrior Sensitive Soul, to come and meet me in person at the Omega Institute? So September 22nd to 27th. And I thought, well, we have a bonus. We have a bonus. And that bonus is that you're going to be doing some specialized group training with me, one before the September event and then 2 afterwards. So you get to reintegrate. One of the things that are challenging for people after they come to an amazing event is that reintegration process into real life. So I really want to help you with that. So all the amazing energy and that supercharging and all that stuff in your, intuition and, healing abilities, so that keeps going up, right? So you don't get a huge crash when you get home. So that's going to be a bonus for folks. So the thing is you want to register before July 30th to get that bonus. So it is lightwarriorsupport.com. So lightwarriorsupport.com, and that will forward you to the page where you can learn how to sign up. And the Omega Institute is an amazing, beautiful place. So if you have not been there, you definitely want to be there and experience that for yourself. And I can't wait to meet you and give you a big hug in person. And also you get my Harness Your Superpowers logo pen as well as a gift. Yeah, I think I've got 100, something like that, 100. So the first 100 people get that as well as a gift. Speaking of gifts, oh gosh, I almost forgot to tell you. For those people that decide that they want to invest in Isa Herrera's Pelvic Alchemy course, I'm actually going to be doing a group mini healing where we're going to test all things pelvic to get you really started, and so you have some awareness of what it is that really focus your attention on when you do the training. So I know for me, once I learned her stuff, I realized that it was, I think, the second layer of my pelvic floor on the left side that was not happy. It was really interesting. I even figured out which muscle it was. So we can do that kind of testing for you, right? And start some healing going on before you take our course. So definitely, if you purchase Isa Herrera's Pelvic Alchemy program, we will have a list of all people that purchase from my link. And then for you guys, we are going to email you with the dates and time, or date and time of the group. And so you have about 7 days, I think it's, 7 days to buy her program, because they're getting started pretty quickly, and then we're going to arrange that group healing and mini healing training for you. Yay, good. All right, awesome. So Monday's radio show, I'm going to be doing a show on sensitivity as a superpower. So we are going to ask folks to call in, and we're going to do a little testing related to your sensitivity, related to your superpowers, some of the things, some of the mistakes, that people make that prevent them from really utilizing their sensitivity as a superpower. And so we can jumpstart you to do that, really become that superpower that you're meant to be. All right, love you. Gonna see you next week. The Spiritual Medicine Digest. Have a great weekend.